Our topic for today is which short stories will leave you breathless? This is a super popular answer that someone posted without revealing their identity. My mom told this story when we were kids and it had a huge impact on me. Warning: long story without images, grab yourself some snacks. Once upon a time there was an old king who had 3 sons. The king was wise and had ruled the land for many years. The kingdom was peaceful and flourishing. The king, before dying, wanted to choose an heir who was worthy and would rule the land justly and with great wisdom. He came with the idea of putting his sons through a test to see who amongst them was the wisest. He gave them each 1 rupee, an exceptionally large room, and a week's time. The challenge was to fill the room by using the provided money. The king would then judge who was the best amongst them, and the winner would be declared heir to the throne. So the sons leave the king and set out in search of the things that they could buy for 1 rupee. Since the capital itself was expensive, they went out far and wide in search of goods and products. Finally a week passed by and Judgment Day arrived. A large number of subjects had gathered to witness the choosing of the heir. The king arrived with his advisors, friends, and his entire court was there too. He then asked the eldest son to open the door to the room and show him how he had spent the 1 rupee. The door was opened and the room was stacked with cotton, white and fluffy. The eldest son began to explain that he had traveled far and wide with his group of advisors. He met various merchants. But it was so difficult to find something cheap in such a huge quantity. So he negotiated deals using his status and bought tons of cotton. All for 1 rupee. The value of the goods definitely exceeded 1 rupee, but the point was to fill the room using that 1 rupee, he reasoned. There was no mention of not using one's status in the challenge, hence he did not see the harm. The king was impressed with his negotiating skills and felt proud. Now everyone moved on to the second son, who was eagerly waiting to show off what he had done. The king gave the order and the door was opened. Stench of filth and garbage filled the air even as the door was being opened. Everyone covered their noses and moved a few steps back. The second son explained that he had purchased all of the garbage in the capital for 1 rupee and filled the room with it, thus making the city clean and only using 1 rupee, nothing more, nothing less. Although disgusted and nauseated from the stench, the king was marveled at his thought process of solving 2 problems at once. Now it was the turn of the youngest son. The king was eager to see what he had accomplished. There were rumors abound in the court that the youngest son spent a little too much time alone and depressed. He neither partied nor spoke much to the nobles. The nobles were all disgusted with his choice of friends, who included the poor of the city and the old. So finally the king ordered the door to be opened, and nothing fell out. No cotton, no garbage, no stench, nothing. The youngest son invited the king inside the room and a few of his aides followed him. What the king saw left him in tears. Tears of joy rolled down his cheeks as he hugged his youngest son proudly. So what was inside that room? When the youngest son received the 1 rupee, he left the palace wondering of all the things that could be done. He realized that 1 rupee was not of much value and nothing really substantial could be bought with it. As he stepped out, he saw a frail old lady who was almost about to collapse from hunger. He realized that she hadn't eaten for days. He selflessly gave her 50 anna from that 1 rupee and asked her to buy some food for herself. She thanked him and went on her way. The task that was difficult before now became almost impossible. Left with 50 annas, he had no clue what to do. So he wandered during the days and spent the night searching for wise men who would tell him what to do. But he found none who could help. On the last night he sat under a tree and saw the city before him, the city his father had created lit up under the stars. And he then knew what he must do. He bought a candle for 10 annas and gave away the rest of the money to other needy people. A candle, lit and placed in the room, filled it with light. The king saw that not only was his son benevolent, he was also wise. The youngest son was declared heir. And they lived happily ever after.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.